Hello to one and all. Rachel's short and I am tall. Welcome. Unless you're Paul, because no Pauls allowed. Yes, it's another no Pauls allowed day here on Talking with Famous People. We have those occasionally. Arbitrarily, we have days in which no Pauls are allowed. Because, everybody needs an occasional Paul-free oasis in this world. We can all agree on that. We just typed an ISFJ lady, and she had been typed by multiple tests before as an INTJ, which prompts the question, and most recently by an actual person as an ENFP. Neither of which make any sense at all. Hi, Lou. So the question is, how does an ISFJ get typed as an INTJ? Well, I guess if a test asks you to self-report on problem solving, getting stuff done, or intuition and stuff, then the ISFJ is going to reference their own experience and have a very contextless kind of understanding of their own intuition. Well, they're that jumping fish thing, right? It's like there are certain kinds of fish who jump out of the water a lot, and they might, if you ask them about their relationship with the air, they're going to say, why, I'm one of the most air-loving fish around. But if you conclude from that they're a bird, then you've fallen victim to the jumping fish phenomenon. Hi, Jonathan Bisanti. How are you, and how is your beautiful family? How's Marianne, little Stevie, little Marianne Jr., little Marianne the Third? Question 1, do you have a deep and creative imagination, or are you useless shit? Right. So, the thing is, what I did when I tested her was, I asked her TI questions. She did about third slot well. She did well on the syllogism ones. She struggled a little bit more on the genealogy ones. When I tested her on her extroverted intuition, she tested out as kind of fourth slotty, when I threw at her some inky pinky, she's like, oh my god, these things are so but she could do it. She managed to successfully do one, but then I asked her to make one up. She said it would take forever. Really fourth slotty answers. And then, she expressed a lot of value stuff consistent with ISFJ. I asked her to tell me a story from her childhood. It was a beautiful, detailed ISFJ story. It was fantastic, It was really, like, I like it when tests and expectations and results all line up like bam, 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 like that, Her TE polar was displayed when I asked her what's the optimal number of steps to take out the trash, and could she articulate them. She said 3 or 4, and then articulated like 12 steps. So, her NI was better than polar. When I did the NI polar test, where I asked her a long sentence with a lot of redundancies in it to collapse it down, she did a pretty good job. But it was also 8th slot, so when I asked her the world mic test, she didn't really have anything specific and concrete to say, So anyway, I think it was, I like it when typing sessions play out like that, where it validates what I'm saying and things line up nicely, and I like that better than the alternative to that, obviously. Anywho, I thought it's been a while. It's been a while because I've been focusing on Mindy's Club. I've been making a lot of shorts. Trying to hit it hard, I guess. Trying to get to 500 subs. I made kind of a racy joke today. I think it might have cost me a couple subs. When Tiffany says that Kobe Bryant taught the world a great lesson. Always fly in hot air balloons. Too soon?
Yeah, I guess.
But, you know, the thing about typology is, if you don't have some kind of meaningful skills test linkage like that, then there's no way to type somebody who's SI because their knowing about themselves is too particularist. It's not reliable. It's not like they're being dishonest at all. It's just they're doing that fish out of jumping fish phenomenon. ISTJs as well. So that's why self-reporting doesn't work on half the population at least. But this, I'm gonna publish it when it finishes processing and stuff. I just had Google Meet record it with its built-in recording function, and so it processes it and it sends me an email when it's ready. Anyway, when it's ready later, I'll publish it and you can watch it yourself. But at the end, she talks about her relationship with her ESFP husband and some of the predictably hilarious interactions they're ensuing, and her ENTP son. ISFJ mom and ENTP son teaming up against ESFP dad is kind of hilarious.
I can see that being entertaining.
Eric, subscribes is the correct substitution for X when one says he subscribes to the notion that copy. No. Subscribes is not the correct substitution for X. It's ascribes. It's ascribes, okay? Rain. He ascribes to the notion that coffee shouldn't be made with spoiled milk. He does not subscribe. That's what you do with magazines. Well, people do use it like that a lot, but the correct word is ascribe. People make the mistake all the time, maybe so much so that it's like literally now it also means figuratively.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't change the fact that the correct word is ascribes. Look up ascribe. You inscribe the notion. To inscribe the notion, you have to get yourself tattooed with the words "the notion." The Dodgers swept the Giants. Good job, Dodgers.
Good job, Dodgers.
Does a play full of handkerchiefs, Patch? Oh, it's so tired from the All-Star game.
Oh, that's a good question, Tiffany.
Well, that's when you use it as a transitive verb, I guess. I mean, you can like confer onto something a relationship status, that kind of ascribe. Well, maybe it's possible, Rand, that you got me in something where I'm wrong. That does happen sometimes. It's been known to occur every once in a while. What, Eric? You wrong? Yes. Even I, the Eric, can sometimes be wrong. All minds are constantly wrong about everything. Right. You made so much money from that series with your betting tips 3,000 ways. Well, I bet you're feeling like a good gambler today. You're saying to yourself, I'm a good gambler. I gambled well and won money. I'll forget about all those other times. I'm really just wallowing in the sorrow that I might be right, I might be wrong, and Rain might be right about the subscribe to scribes thing.
I know.
It's really kicking me right in the nutsack, let me tell you, Rain. I'm taking it both boots, one to each nut right now. Can I unsubscribe to this conversation? Yeah, the troubles, nobody knows the troubles I've seen. These are some nice chairs, although they're a little squeaky. It's a little bit squeaky, but you know, what are you gonna do? Everything in life comes with a little bit of squeakiness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's normative because implied by it is... If I said that, what I was saying is it's a way of getting around saying the moon should be made of green cheese. If you're saying the moon should be made of green cheese, it's a normative statement because you're not saying you should do something, right? That the difference between normative and prescriptive is prescriptive statements say you should do something for some particular reason. Normative statements say you should do something because it's, you know, righteous, inherently preferable, or because of a lack of any specific reason, really. But just because it's better. So that's what I'm trying to get across there, is that prescriptive statements tell you what you should do for a specific reason. And normative statements say the reason is because it's better than the status quo in either a moral sense or, you know, like a compare worlds paradigm is one in which you try to judge the status quo world versus the new world. And basically you say which world is better. In that regards, you're making a normative claim that you should change the status quo in the way you say because it creates a better world. That's not really a reason, you know? It doesn't link to anything utilitarian. Well, it links, but only like indirect. It's like second generation utilitarian, you know? And everybody knows only first generation utilitarian is like full blast utilitarian.
I'm gonna move the laundry over.
You move it. You move it in your sexy ways, Rachel.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome, my darling.
You're such a special wonder to me.
You know what, darling? You are equally such a special wonder to me.
Aww.
Makes you wonder the following. If wheat bread is made out of wheat, is white bread made out of white?
It really does make you think.
Really does make you think. And if so, where do they grow it? white bread is made out of people? Hey, I changed that betting tips 3,000. Remember I said the Padres are going to win the NL East now. No, normative and prescriptive are not synonyms. You should take a couple of Tylenol if you have a headache is a prescriptive statement. Whereas, you should not steal that loaf of bread is a normative statement. I mean, the distinction isn't made very often outside of competition debate, but it's a straightforward enough distinction to make, and useful to make. Like bread. If you want to talk about something that's useful to make, let's have a long conversation about bread. Bread is so soft and bready. One thing I like about bread is its breadiness. Of all the breads in the world, bread is the breadiest of the breads. You can lie down on it, make yourself into a sandwich. Bread is wonderful. That concludes my speech about bread. I hope you all enjoyed my speech about bread. We're going to have a test on it now. Question number 1. What is bread? Bread is the magic wafer that the Padres will use to defeat the Mets and win the NL East in a sudden and unprecedented jumping from division to division mid-season. Flat bread is neither brady nor bready, nor is it really bread. In fact, it's not even flat. Okay? It claims to be flat, but that's not flat. Things that are truly, truly flat only exist on one dimension. They're lines. So true. So true are these words that I say. Eric, why do you say such true words all the time? Oh, why, it's because somebody's constantly injecting me with truth serum. Why does you can't derive an ought from an is piss you off? Because this arm is on fire. Clearly infers you should put it out. So normative claims don't need to be mini advocacies for actual agents that can act, since we can't actually turn the moon into green cheese. Well, I mean, you can fixate. What you're doing here is called arguing on the margins. So it's true, you can find gray areas in terms of like affirming the truth of a given statement. Is it a normative? Are you really doing, or is that statement really making a normative claim? You can spend time nitpicking the specific distinction if you find ones that land in the margins, so to speak. But it's not a useful thing to do, and it doesn't establish anything except that the distinctions clear cut most of the time, but sometimes, depending on how people play with language, it can make it a little bit muddy. Well, I mean, the point is, the distinction I'm making between prescriptive and normative is that normative claims are moral or ethical claims, whereas prescriptive claims are utilitarian ones. So, what am I predicting is a question that is implicit to a prescriptive claim. Namely, I'm telling you should do this because you can anticipate this outcome. Whereas moral claims typically are claims about impermissibility to the extent that they have any impact on what you do. It's saying it's morally impermissible for you to do that. Therefore, we can't engage the prescriptive question about whether it would be effective at attaining the outcome you want. It's a matter of the order of questions. That was Niebuhr's question? Oh, okay, well, sorry. Most important, question, here is Chris Chapman's question about flatbread. Because flatbread is a double lie. It's what you call the devil's spittoon. It's neither flat nor bread. What it is it's an atrocity done to wheat. Stop being atrocious to my wheat. The problem with white bread is, why are the bread companies stealing the wheat from my bread? And what are they doing with it? Why does white taste so much better than wheat, even though bread is made out of wheat, and when you make it white bread, you remove the wheat from it? Explain that logic to me, please. You don't need yeast to make regular bread. You just have to make your bread into the shape of bread before you cook it. The problem with those flatbread people is they don't even know what shape bread is. It looks like this. It's got a rectangular part here, and it's got a little overhang part on top. Okay? That's what bread looks like. Get it right, people. Yeah, have you ever heard of these people making this so-called pita bread? That's not bread. That's not what bread looks like, okay? Let's review what bread looks like. It's got like this rectangular part down here, right? It's like this big, and it's like pow, this big rectangular part. And on top, it's got this like muffin top overhang thing, okay? That's what bread looks like. Anything else is not bread. It needs to stop lying about what it is. Pita bread, you need to change your name to pita not bread. Flat bread, you need to change your name to not flat not bread. Right now. I insist. Hi there. It's a fancy lady.
Oh, what a fancy man.
And you are festooned in the camouflage of an ambush predator.
Yes.
Yes, Rachel today is wearing this leopard dress that I made for her out of a leopard that was just about to pounce on her and kill her in the wilderness when I punched it in the face, and in a single blow, unfortunately, killed the creature. By not wanting to let it go to waste, I skinned it, made Rachel this dress, made myself a whole bunch of pairs of leopard skin jockstraps, and then we ate the meat of the leopard. We had Thai leopard salad. It was delicious. I used peanut butter in the dressing.
Ooh.
Remember that delicious Thai leopard salad we ate?
Yes, I do. How exotic.
Did we gain its powers? Well, we haven't tried to execute any ambush predations. We're not really that into to jumping on the back of things and killing them by biting the back of their necks. So, neither have I tried to make a dress out of myself to see if I would be attractive as a dress, which would be another way to see. But so I guess we really haven't tested them yet.
Yeah, I guess not.
Is it worth noting the person who discovered how to make bread was not trying to create bread? It makes you ask, what were they trying to do? Right. Well, they weren't trying to create bread, Rain. They were trying to discover bread, real bread, as indicated with the rectangular part. And then the top part that overhangs a little bit on top, it's a little more puffy. Regular, real bread was discovered, not created. It was discovered one day. Somebody had made a trough for their fur, but it was for hamsters. That's why it was only this big, you know. And accidentally, they poured some dough into it, and then there was some beer nearby, and it got poured into it a little bit, and that was the yeast. And then they forgot about it for a while, and they're like, "Oh shit! Look how big this bread is." they punched it down. Said, "Get back down there, you!" Then they forgot about it again, and then they came back, and again. It had gotten all big. And they said, "We've got to do something with this thing. It's fighting back." So they put it in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes. And then they took it out and they cut into it. And they said, "Oh my God, we've discovered bread."
Wow.
It was the most exciting day in history.
It sounds like it.
What distinguishes a warrant from a justification? Nothing really in particular. I mean, a warrant is usually the mechanism by which the claimed impact occurs, if you want to be specific. Where, if you were to refer to a justification, you might include both the warrant and the impact as part of the justification. So, I guess a justification is a term that's a higher, it includes more pieces than the warrant. At least potentially. The giants were too busy rolling and playing in the needles and excrement. Don't be nasty, betting tips. 3,000. Let's not be unpleasant.
Yeah.
Just remember the cool breezes of Candlestick Park and say, you know what? Well, no, the claim wouldn't be part of the justification, though. Because, look, if you make a claim like, you should eat oranges because they have vitamin C in them and that's healthy for you. Then you've got, your claim is what you should do. Your warrant is that you should do it because it gets vitamin C. And your impact is better health. But both the impact and the warrant comprise parts of the justification, I guess you'd say. The Giants are nice people too. Just leave them alone. They've got those lovely orange and brown uniforms. They're very autumnal in their color scheme. I like that. Is. The Padres share a nice autumnal color scheme. I like the fact that the Padres mascot is a Spanish friar.
Me too.
I think we don't have enough Spanish friar mascots.
No, we don't.
You know, they used to have all those Indian mascots. Now they're like the Washington football team or whatever. But I'm glad we still have the Friars as a mascot.
Me too. It's fun.
Those mission building scamps did a world of good. So I don't know if it's just my imagination or if it's just somebody else's imagination or what, but I feel like this COVID thing has really knocked some of the wind out of my sails.
Yeah.
Like, I am lower energy than I was before I got it, it feels like. And it's been a couple of weeks now, probably since we got it. It really knocks the snot out of you. I've also discovered that I need to eat a lot of food. It's like my metabolism went up or something. Otherwise, I starve to death.
I think I'm gonna get a snack of chips. Would you like anything from outside?
No, not right now. A little bit later, I plan to bring in that steak and cut it up. Maybe put it in the microwave for a minute or two, and then make some steak sandwiches at some point. But I'm not quite ready for that yet.
It's okay that I have a snack,
You
though.
do whatever you want. Oh, that silly girl. Of course, I don't care what snack. Why would anybody care about that? Okay. I got that fly. And that's important. If you have a fly in your house, then I want to welcome you to the Anti-Fly Committee for the killing of flies that come inside the house. We do an excellent job of keeping that door closed. We open it for a second, we close it, bam. But those flies do an even excellenter job of getting inside. Every time that door opens, it seems like for 5 seconds, not even like 5 seconds, like Rachel just walked in, open, closed right behind her, right? It's open for like 1 second. I bet you like 5 flies got in. These flies are they really want to come in here and die. Because neither Rachel nor I are willing to tolerate their presence. They want to land on my feet. They want to buzz around me. They want to just be awful, awful flies. So, what I do is I use these things called fly swatters. And when I see one, I hit it with it. Pow! Kill it and let it just fall to the ground dead. And say, take that, you awful fly. And that's the story of my relationship with flies. Hello, centralized core. We also have this problem, which is basically I can't open all the windows in here. It's like they're stuck. And I try with tools and everything even to open them. And they're stuck like a duck who's clucked to his pluck. That's how stuck they are.
Yeah, they're so stuck.
Super stuck. So, talking about important things here today on Talking with Famous People. Talking about typology, talking about windows being stuck. Earlier we were talking about something fun. Bread. That's right. We were talking about bread earlier. Oh, bread. Bread is so soft and welcoming. It's like a welcoming committee carrying a welcoming basket to a welcoming party that's designed expressly to welcome you. If you love feeling welcome, welcome to the welcoming booth. The welcoming booth is not one of the most well-attended booths at the carnival, but basically, if you go there to the welcoming booth, people say, welcome. They have a whole team of people behind the welcoming booth, each of whom takes turns saying, welcome, welcome, welcome. And then you go, well, thanks, I feel very welcome now. And it costs $25. Which is why it's not that popular, I guess. Well, bread is fun. Bread is all things to all people. It's like rice, but for not Asian people. Gotta go. See you later. Goodbye.
Bye. See you later.
Have a fun time away. What is going away? Away is a good preposition / adverb. Where are you going? Away. Away? Away from you is what's implied. I'm going away from you. But if people say it that way, then other people get offended. Where are you going? Away from you. It's true, but people still get offended if you say it that way. Even if you just say away, people will get offended.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Away. I guess probably the best kind of answer to where are you going is to tell the direction, like west, east, north, or south. West. Oh, okay, well, don't get blinded by the setting sun. That's good advice if somebody tells you they're going west. So anyway, not a whole lot of action around here at the live stream today. We've got pretty nice weather, a relatively cool afternoon at 86 degrees here in Los Angeles. Sort of afternoon that a couple of enterprising young YouTubers like Rachel and I might theoretically utilize to make some shorts. Oliver Linehan is here.
Hey, Oliver Linehan.
Representative of the ISFJ personality type.
Yes.
Will you agree that that lady that I just typed is an ISFJ? We'll find out today, maybe, if you watch it, when I publish that video later. Do some improv warm-ups. Improv warm-ups. It's like comedy jumping jacks or something. Well, I tell you, I've been doing a lot of joke making in my Mindy's Club business. Been trying to put up a lot of Mindy's Club shorts, and that requires coming up with a lot of jokes. Boil the whole language down into one syllable. Meow. It would be nice to communicate purely in meow. That's true. Like, we'd probably communicate more effectively if everybody just replaced all the important words with meow.
So, I have a ridiculous thing to bring up.
Okay, bring it up.
You know how you were asking if I was doing like the tarot things, and I told you I was doing Indian astrology?
Uh-huh.
Well, it said that you and I are not compatible. That's why it's ridiculous.
Well, I could have told you right off the bat. Indian astrology has a spicy curry flavor that's not necessarily palatable.
Oh.
Neither you nor I are fond of it. It's a particularly fishy flavored spicy curry that burns in an unpleasant fashion while searing an awful fishy taste in your mouth.
Ah.
You don't want to eat that.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like you are not marriage like compatible.
Did it say why? Did it predict any particular kind of incompatibility?
It said like it listed a bunch of planets that weren't compatible.
Okay, but I'm saying, did it say like you'll fight about what things mean? Did it say you'll disagree on in your taste in movies? Did it say one of you will really like having a red dot on your forehead and the other one will not?
It said Papa Samya is extended malefic compatibility analysis, which considers a natural malefic planets viz. Sun, Mars, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu, and that two from ascendant Moon and Venus. Papa Samyam is not satisfactory.
Well, it sounds like Papa Samyam is so big prize prices. I mean, what do you care for that stupid ass shit for?
That's what I was looking for from you. Tell me that.
This is just dumb. Papa Samayama. I already explained to you. Horses don't eat papayas.
Oh. Thank you. That was just our ridiculous news of the day, that's all.
Well, my news of the day mostly has to do with trying out some various ways to get more shorts for more views for my Mindy's Club shorts. Like, I'm trying to include celebrity names in them a bit and see how that goes. I do at some point want to have a Tiffany names the celebrities thing where I have like a picture of the celebrity on the screen and Tiffany and Mindy goes, name that celebrity, and Tiffany says what their name is. So, you know, because she's got a growing list of people who she has named incorrectly. Alanis Morissette, she has named a lettuce smorgasbord. Benedict Cumberbatch, she's named Symphony of Cucumbers. And she thinks that a lettuce smorgasbord and Symphony of Cucumbers should get married because they've both got that salad bar thing going on. She thinks that Clayton Kershaw is named Plateful of Handkerchiefs. She thinks that Jennifer Aniston is named Jupiter Afghanistan. She thinks that Lana Del Rey is named Lasagna Delay.
I could hear that.
She thinks that Ryan Gosling is named... What did she say his name?
I don't know.
I have to look at it again. Lion tossing, right. She thinks Ryan Gosling's name is lion tossing. She thinks Kobe Bryant's name is Brian Cobb. What's the best advice? She thinks Serena Williams' name is Lightning Face. What's the best advice you should give host Eric? What's the best advice I'd give to host Eric? Be cool, stay in school. The first thing that came to my mind is be cool. What's the best job for an INFJ? Give some advice, Eric. Being cool. In both instances, I get the same answer. The best job for an INFJ is being cool. And the best advice for Eric is be cool.
I think you're cool.
Thanks, Rachel. I think you're cool too.
Thanks.
When we drive down the street listening to cool music, people look at us and say, wow, they're cool.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm. And that's what's really important in life. Being cool. How does a God of coolness, who is in their nature to embody and teach what it means to be cool, reconcile with the general wisdom that trying too hard to be cool is not cool? Well, it is possible to try too hard to be cool, yeah. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try hard to be cool. Just like, look, if you want to go climb up the side of that thing at Yosemite, that big mountain in Yosemite that guy climbed up, okay? I don't know if you heard about this guy. His name's something. And he is what you call a free solo climber, which means he climbs up rocks that normally you climb up with those ropes and the little thing you hammer in and the meagity-meh, right? He climbs up it without any of that stuff. So he goes to Half Dome, I believe it's called, at Yosemite, and it's this thing that if you're gonna, yeah, Alex Honnold, right? It's this thing, if you're gonna climb up it, it takes you more than one day. You gotta camp like halfway up, do this like side sleeping bag thing, right? He just starts in the morning and he free solos this fucking thing, which is like death defying the whole time. He free solos the whole thing in like 4 hours, passing people on the way up who slept on the fucking side of it, you know? And it was described as the most incredible athletic feat ever of any sort.
Wow.
And I agree that it was that. Now, what was I getting at? Right. He tried very hard to get up there, but he didn't try too hard. Which is to say, he didn't go on a couple of occasions. He's like, no, it's not the right day. It's not the right day. But that doesn't mean he didn't try hard. But he didn't try too hard, because if he had tried too hard, well, it would have taken him even longer, right? It only took him less than 4 hours, so he was still kind of not super exhausted by the time he got to the top. That's what I'm talking about, right? You gotta try the right amount of hard.
Yeah, the right amount of hard.
I'm Mr. Icicle, I'm Mr. Snow, I'm Mr. White Christmas, I'm 10 below. 10 below what? 100 degrees. That makes you 90 degrees.
Wow.
I'm going to get myself some coffee. It'll bring a flavor of brownness to my mouth.
Ooh, a flavor of brownness. I've been having a flavor of brownness too. That's the Mr. Heat Miser song. I'm Mr. Heat Blister, I'm Mr. 101. They call me Heat Miser. La-da-da-da. think whatever I touch turns to dust. I'm too much. Do 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 do.
So I'm a little disappointed about that Kobe joke costing me a couple subscribers. That's a little too soon, I guess.
To feel about.
Oh, FI people. Come on. You know. Tiffany really felt like he did teach an important lesson. Always fly in a hot air balloon. Some of those episodes of Naked and Afraid can be difficult to watch. We watched this lady from Alaska who was like a ginger lady and be stuck in Nicaragua and get fucking horrible burnt skin and try to survive and get stage 2 hypothermia when they had to carry her ass out of there. Man, this show can be kind of brutal.
Yeah. It was brutal. I guess it's hard to tell, like, when it's time to tap out for some people.
It doesn't pay anything. Well, I mean, they get paid $5,000 or $6,000 or something for the time that they miss when they're gone for 21 days. But there's no prize money or anything like that. It's just a challenge to prove yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
To prove that you're a badass.
I thought that they got paid for it, actually.
I mean, they get paid $5,000 or $6,000, something like that. Was I ever typed as an ISFJ? Not seriously, but I can recall. Not by any test or anybody I solicited to type me. I don't doubt that somebody out there has made that claim, but no. Well, Fly Guy, that's not a way to be a survivalist, okay? Being a stripper is not the same thing as being on Naked and Afraid.
No, it's not.
Being on Naked and Afraid, it's... Well, the first thing you have to really want is to have a whole lot of bug bites. If, for example, right now you're thinking, damn, I wish I were covered in fucking bug bites from head to toe, then you should go on Naked and Afraid, maybe.
Oh my gosh. We have, like, several flies in here right now. I can't imagine, like, being out, like, you know, we were filming outside yesterday and the flies were, and I guess some mosquitoes were bothering us. Those were only, like, you know, maybe 5 to 10. That they have to deal with, like, hundreds. That's a lot.
It's crazy when you look at their skin, right? It's just like all these little pink dots everywhere. Sometimes they have a mosquito net, and it still doesn't really save them that much. And I don't know. It just looks awful. If I were gonna go on that show, I'd want to go someplace like Canada woods rather than a swampy place. But even in like Canada woods, you still have shit tons of mosquitoes.
Yeah, they still get bit. I don't think I've seen an episode where the person hasn't gotten bit.
Yeah. And then you got to prepare yourself for there's a decent chance, it seems like most of the time, that you're going to have to spend at least one night out there where it's raining, you're getting wet, your fire's gone out, and you're trying to huddle under some leaves with the other person for warmth. Like, okay. I'm naked. I'm wet. It's like 60 degrees outside. I'm 5 seconds from dead, as far as I'm concerned. That's ridiculous. I could not last that shit at all for a second. Well, Jonathan Basanti. You know who you are? You're Jonathan Basanti, okay? Individual. Congratulations. Well, somebody besides me typed this lady as ENFP. And what that tells me is they don't know how to test extroverted intuition at all, because she definitely was not an extroverted intuition dominant. She had that textbook fourth slot. Kind of resistance to being put on the spot for anything extroverted intuition wise. They don't like being put on the spot. Don't put me on the spot. That's what they say. Don't put me on the spot. I hate it a lot. Don't put me on the spot. That's what they say. Don't put me on the spot. Thank you. Thanks.
I don't like being put on the spot.
You are a lovely snowflake.
Yes, such a lovely snowflake.
You're octagonal plus hexagonal plus septatonal. You're all of those things and more. So I don't know if you guys heard, but Sasquatch and Tiffany are actually right now out on an episode of Naked and Afraid. They just happen to get each other as partners. It was convenient for the show because neither of them had to take off any clothes. Tiffany got Sasquatch to build a shelter, but it was terrible. And she pointed out that it was terrible, you know. And
she did find that net, though, didn't she?
She pushed over the shelter to prove how easy it was to push over. You know?
Yeah, she did.
And then Sasquatch was pouting. He didn't really feel like a man anymore, you know.
Yeah. That's where we're at in that storyline right now.
Sasquatch generally doesn't scare people in Kit Mindy's Club, no.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
He's more just trying to go along with the flow and not understanding things and or being Sasquatch, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, Mindy says, okay, this is a perfect place for a shelter. You start building a shelter, and I'll find a tent. And then, you know, Sasquatch doesn't know how to build a shelter because he doesn't know how to use human tools. He's Sasquatch. You know how everybody gets to bring their own survival item. He brought a stick. So. Of course, Tiffany didn't bring anything because she doesn't bring things. She finds things. How would a naked INTP survive the Afraid? I mean, I've never seen an INTP on the show. It's just certain types aren't going to go on it. Like, INTPs, for them to go from that kind of seems like a good idea to actually doing that, I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't. But Sasquatch is excellent. One of the reasons why Sasquatch is so excellent is that he's so very poseable.
Yes. lot of times he stands up on his own.
He moves in lots of different directions. Like this part of his leg moves, and this part independently, and this part. So he's got ankle, knee, and hip. He's also got waist. He's got elbow, shoulder, elbow and shoulder. But his head doesn't turn, so that's fine. He's pretty good in his movability. Sasquatch move very well. Yes, you do move very well, Sasquatch. Sasquatch, glad to be invited to live stream. Well, you're always welcome to stop by. Whenever I stop by, usually your assistant kicked me out. Well, just push past Julie. She's just like that. Julie said, "You say keep Sasquatch out of live stream." I never said that. Just don't believe Julie. She's a big liar. Rachel and I are always so happy to have you here, Sasquatch.
Yeah, we are.
You no lie. No, I'm not lying. Of course not. And the only thing is, I don't know, have you ever heard the term stink ape? Oh, stink ape hate speech.
Oh no, hate speech? That's not good.
Okay, well, it's not completely without warrant. It's just that right now, Rachel and I both have kind of diminished senses of smell because of COVID. Sasquatch don't smell anything. Well, let's get a little deodorant for you, shall we? Okay. T says, Rachel, please teach us how to date an indie dom. I like that question. Let's see what Rachel has to say about that.
I think being a good listener is something that a way to date any dom, and then play with them. I have fun making those videos. I have fun watching them too. They make me laugh. Make any dom feel heard.
I don't think this guy needs to be heard anymore. For God's
Hey,
sake, this
Tiffany.
guy just never shuts up. You're selfish old man. Sorry, Tiffany. You should be sorry. Half the time you're talking, I should be talking. You're right. Who are these people anyway, let's say? Rubeler? Who's this Rubeler guy? Is he like a sandwich made out of corned beef? Yeah, he's kind of like that.
Yeah, you can say that.
So, anyway, not a lot of action in the chat today. People aren't feeling especially chatty. Good thing I'm an NEDOM, so I can make up random things to talk about. What do you think of an ESTJ/ENTJ partner in that show? Both of them have SI/NI polar. Huh. ESTJ, ENTJ, huh? That's an interesting notion, eh? I don't know what would happen. It's an interesting question. That seems like potentially it would matter on who. Oh, you're talking about on Naked and Afraid. Oh. Well, I I think they'd probably do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's like we watch that show and we get to the next episode and I pause like 5 minutes in. I go, "What do you think?" And Rachel and I both like ESTJ chick. You know, the ESTJ chicks. I don't know. they're so like bossy and wrong at the same time right away because the problem is right out the gate they've only got their SI to use, but this is a totally new situation that requires NI. So they come to stupid NI polar things right off the bat. Like we were watching this episode and this dude brought where they were staying was like Canada style wilderness with a lot of bears and shit like that. He had brought a bow and arrow, which was a perfectly sensible thing to bring in such a context. And she said, well, my first thought is it's a single-use item. Unlike her knife, which has multiple uses that she brought. It's like, how NI-polar can you get? Yeah, it's a single-use item, but it's hunting, right? It's the ability to hunt everything from squirrels to deer and potentially protect yourself in case if there's a bear. And, you know, that's a single use that's a pretty high priority, right?
Yeah.
What do I think about Hegel? Well, I like my Hegel tortas with cream cheese. Me too, Tiffany.
Cream cheese?
Yeah. It's got, like, remember, Hegels are boiled, not baked.
Oh.
And then afterwards, you have to toast it and put cream cheese on it. And that's how you eat a Hegel.
It is.
Do I ever watch The Castaway? No, I've never watched The Castaway. No, not today, nor yesterday have I ever watched The Castaway. What is it? Tell me about it. Is it something special? Is it something fun? Is it something you can eat on a bun? Is it something magic? Is it something good? Is it something made of old driftwood?
Is it a movie with Tom Hanks? Because that's what I've seen. I've seen that Castaway.
I've seen that as well. I have seen Castaway, the movie.
It is.
Oh, yes, I've seen
yes.
it. Yeah, I thought you were maybe another exciting survival show I was unfamiliar with. The best way to make friends in the MBTI community is to start telling people they aren't the type they claim to be. Isn't it ironic, Fly Guy, that a lettuce smorgasbord's name means salad bar? Ghost of you? About what? Yeah, about what? You're probably, right about what time of day it was, sometimes.
Does anyone ever ask you about your clothes, Tiffany?
I don't so much anymore. I lost them a long time ago.
Oh.
And then I realized, why am I bringing things when I could just find things?
Oh. That's smart.
Yes. Because it's people know, her, that's Tiffany. Don't look at her in like a creepy way.
Hey, don't look at Tiffany in a creepy way.
That's why nobody ever says anything.
Good.
If they start to say like, hey, Tiffany, no shirt, no pants, no allowed in here. I say, hey, you're getting too big for your britches. And I say, I'm sorry. I say, you better be. And I walk right in. Like this. Yeah. I like playing with dolls.
Oh, I'm so glad you do.
They're so fun.
They are so fun.
Oh, of course I'm fun. I'm tough today. I am like a majestic hot air balloon. I see all, I hear everything, and I'm floating in the sky. Who's that eye boxer? Hey, you gotta shut up, y'all. You're getting told back for your britches.
Me?
No, I'm Moxie.
Oh, I'm Oxy.
Hey, one of those people over there in that box. With the words.
I see.
Yeah. You know, are you all got to say I'm Moxie? Hey, I'm Moxie.
I'm Oxy.
Yo, stink!
Uh-oh. That's big news coming
Take
from
that.
Tiffany. Yeah.
Yo, stink! Oh my god, turn around, yeah, just positive, sure. It's like, you know, if you're qualified, they usually pick you up to do CX. It's like, if I get kids in all day, if my debaters are debating in like all day, I'd rather judge in all day, because I can say like, this is what the other kids are running to my kids in between rounds. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called scouting. Listen, Ty, I'm gonna tell you something. People need to be told when they're wrong about things, okay? Like, hey, you're not an INFJ. That's what this old man has to do. That's his job, okay? Thanks, Tiffany. You shut up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wow. She told you.
She sure did. So are we just gonna like sit around here all day and just talk to these people in this box?
Yeah, Mindy. For part of the time, anyway.
Well, you know, unless we get to be over here, sometimes I think maybe this old man has dementia because he forgets about us and leaves us over there. Yeah, that's got to be what it is, Tiffany. It's got to be dementia. I don't know why I would ever leave you anywhere other than right beside me all the time. That's right, it's okay. You're lucky. You should give us a prize for letting you hang out with us. What do you say about that, Monday?
Yeah, I think that's right. We're the best club.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, well, thanks, girls. Appreciate it. You feel you need to hook yourself with a doll collection and start your own doll show? I have my own doll show. It's called Mindy's Club.
Yeah.
It's the best doll show ever. I don't know if I specifically call it a doll show, but it is that.
It is.
Yeah. We prefer people of scale. Doll is hate speech.
Doll's hate speech.
Yes. I am a person of scale.
I am a person of scale.
And I am also a person of scale. Okay? Don't call us dolls.
No, we're not dolls. We're important.
No, yeah, you are important. We're sorry. I didn't know they changed the rules on that. Do you have preferred pronouns? Yes, my preferred pronoun is Tiffany. With an I.
With an I.
So just never use she or her. Yours, I prefer pronoun. So never use Tiffany or Tiffany, just always use Tiffany? Oh, exactly. You know, I have pushing 480 subscribers almost on my doll channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've discussed this. You're doing an absolutely terrible job of getting us subscribers. You've got me on Monday, and you still only have under 500 subscribers. I'm sorry, Tiffany. You're right again. She's tough but fair. Tiffany doesn't really have a type because Tiffany's both TI polar and NI polar, but I would say she's kind of a caricatured ESFP. You know what? She's got a heart of gold. She really does.
She does.
Whenever she makes somebody sad, she always says, "It's okay. Oh, meow, 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 meow." So, you know, she's good. She's a good person.
Yeah, she's definitely extroverted.
Yeah. She's kind of like she's got a very she's got somewhat of an ESFP quality, but she's also got the quality of like a 6-year-old chubby ENFJ Mexican boy. I've heard, just
Yeah.
Or that guy, that actually kid is just no. Is
Oh,
it,
actually. Oh, yeah.
Is it actually? Is that
what
what he
does he say? Apparently.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently, I went on this ride, and apparently,
Yeah.
She's like that's like a little ENFJ boy, right? She's like half little ENFJ boy and half drunken ESFP former sorority girl who failed out before even the first quarter was over. She's nakedly extroverted, yes.
Yeah, would she consider herself to be extroverted?
Probably no. I think she thinks she's an introvert.
Oh.
She's probably convinced that she's an INTJ.
Oh.
I am a half INTJ, half INTJ. Why do you say that? Because I'm the smartest type. I'm tough.
With an eye.
What makes you think you're the smartest type? Because hi! You're going to tell back for your branches.
Oh! She didn't like that question.
Yeah, she didn't like that one. Yeah. Well, half the time she's an INTP and half the time she's an INTJ. She's transtypal.
Yeah. You can't tell her any different.
No. I took the test like 20 times.
Wow, 20 times.
Well, one tell you why. I've got a horrible mind.
I'm always impressed by your ability to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, she's like the only one he has the correct name for. It's like in this whole line of celebrities will have, you know, right? And then for him, she'll say, Andre Vasilevsky. So, anyway. Oh, there's also Chai Chai Rodriguez. Can't forget him in the list of Tiffany's renamed celebrities. She's got Black Widow is backgammon show. And Incredible Hulk is unshakable salt. Are you know those superheroes? Backgammon show and unshakable salt? You mean Black Widow and Incredible Hulk? Yes. They have no chemistry.
I don't.
I just don't believe that relationship. What's the difference between feeling horny and feeling pushed by your environment? I mean, do you live in a forest of boobs? That's the best answer I have for you. It's a question, I know, but that's still the best answer I have for you. It's really hard for me not to feel kind of like, a perv. Well, you need to move out of that forest of boobs.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing but boobs all around you all the time. It's going to make you a little pervy.
Yeah.
It's going to make you a little pervy.
Yeah.
I live, okay, make a left at the large areola. Right when you reach the perimeter of the circle. Yeah, you're going to see kind of a little bump, a couple of bumps over here. Yeah, that means you're going the right direction. Go down the big slope, the big heaving slope, and then up the next big heaving slope of flesh. When you get to the nipple on top, my house is right behind that nipple. Okay? Well, it's a forest. You've got some giant sequoias in there. You can drive. You have to drive around and stuff. And you've got little forest boob moss.
Yeah.
It's just growing on the ground. Just little boobs with little nipples and all over the place. The whole land is made of boobs. The only thing that's not is my cabin in the forest of boobs, which I lovingly constructed out of my own pubic hairs. I wove it using my primitive survival skills.
Ooh!
I started with a PSR of 5.4, but after weaving an entire hut out of my own pubic hairs, my PSR rose to 7.2.
Wow! That's a big leap.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have took some time.
Yeah. I survived on nothing but human breast milk for the entire 21 days. That's the only thing there is to eat in the boob forest. There's only one thing to eat. And, at first you think, okay, I'm going to squeeze it into this bucket. But eventually you just start taking it straight from the source. Fortunately, it's both provides liquid and food, so.
Oh, wow. So you're set.
Yeah.
What was your biggest threat?
Wild boob eagles.
Ooh.
There's eagles that fly from peak to peak, searching for small prey that maybe live down among the boobs, like crumbs you drop when you're eating, or other things like that. And sometimes they'll swoop down and mistake your head for a pumpkin and try to carry you away.
Oh my gosh.
But they're not that strong, but I got lifted like several feet off the ground several times.
Several times?
Yeah, that's why I've got all these talon marks on the side of my head. It was under my hair now, you can't really see it, but... Yeah, the side of my head got really torn up by boob eagle talons.
Whoa.
Other than that, it's pretty smooth sailing. There's always a soft place to lay my head. This dream took a huge curve into the boobs forest. Most Eric, do ENFPs typically go to people and start talking about a certain topic? I'm talking about the people who don't say hello, what's your name, or anything like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know a lot of ENFPs, really. And I don't know how they act in, like, party situations. I'm not sure. I don't have enough experience to access, and I don't have a good reason to conclude, really, one way or the other. I mean, a lack of FE is implicit in countervaluing FE, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to make a bad first impression. I think ENTPs make a bad first impression. I think I have a history of making a bad first impression. I was told by my second wife that I make a bad first impression for many years. But you know what? I only make a medium bad second impression, a sort of bad third impression, a pretty okay fourth impression, and by the fifth impression, I'm working my way towards mildly amusing.
Wow.
Good question, oh yeah. Why do women have 2 boobs instead of 3 or 4? Because just like Naked and Afraid, 2 is the right number of contestants.
2 is the right number of contestants. If you've 1, that's so... It's the loneliest number.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to complete that, like, Naked and Afraid, if you're just one person.
Well, you know, if your partner leaves right away, they'll usually get you a replacement partner.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can be too late. Like, we watched this episode with this Negative Nancy dude. And he really brought her down for the first couple of days. Then he bailed and left her in not a very good situation. And then, yes, she got a new partner on day 6. But then by then, she had used up all her reserves. You know, she had started this marathon in the worst possible way. And there was no coming out of it and recovering at that point. So she had to tap out eventually, too. It's like, I feel bad for her because I bet if she had started with the guy who came in, they both would have made it all the way through.
Yeah.
It's funny, the guy who came in, he immediately got fish. He's like, instantly. She'd been starving for days, and he just instantly got 6 fish. I think probably the most useful thing to bring, though, or the thing that I think is smart to bring,
I'd like to hear this,
is duct tape. And the reason you want to bring duct tape is because I don't care where they put you, the first thing you really need to do, no matter what, is make shoes.
Yeah, I always wonder about the shoes, too.
Your feet are going to get torn up. They're going to put you in some thorns or some or some So you need to make some shoes. If you get duct tape, if you bring duct tape, you can easily enough make some shoes right away. Ideally, you'd find a piece of board that was kind of like your foot size, maybe a little bit bigger, and then you'd wrap duct tape around that, and then you'd make a strap out of duct tape, and then you duct tape that to the shoe. You make another strap, duct tape that, and you got yourself a sandal, you know. So That's why I believe duct tape is the best thing to bring. If you do bring duct tape, though, what you discover is that in like every episode, the chick then now wants to make a bikini top for herself.
Yes.
But you'll also see that she usually doesn't wear it for very long because it starts to rub because it's not really that properly fitted, you know. Why do people have a back? So that you can shoot them naked in movies without getting an NC-17 rating.
Yeah.
You've never heard anybody complain of full backle nudity.
No.
There's a reason for that. It's because the back is acceptable. Alex Rodriguez says he's hungry. Who's hungry?
I was thinking about bringing in that steak.
You want to bring it in?
Yeah, would you like some?
Yeah, I could eat some. We could just cut pieces off of it and eat it like that.
Oh, sure. I'll bring in the ketchup and mustard then.
Or maybe just a tapatio would be fine.
Okay.
Or whatever you want to do.
If you like the tapatio, it's already in here.
Alright, cool. I like tapatio.
Cool.
Yes, I watched all of Dr. Stone, by Moxie, and it is not at all any kind of version of Naked and Afraid. Not whatsoever is it a version of Naked and Afraid. The thing about Naked and Afraid that makes it a perfect show is it's got everything you need to have all the dynamics of a successfully reproducible concept. You get two new people every time. You get a male-female dynamic. They're both naked, so it's automatically kind of spurious, I guess you'd say. And you've got a ticking clock, namely they're supposed to stay there 21 days. You've got natural, honest, actual unpredictability with weather and stuff. You're going to get scenes of genuine, strong emotions, be they joy at catching a fish or misery at suffering under this rain while it's freezing cold and your fire went out or whatever. You got everything you need to make a show that you can just repeat forever, and it'll always be interesting as long as you have places for them to go, you know. Eric, what is a pub? I don't know what a pub is. Except like an English bar, you know. Beyond that, I don't know. It's a place where English people go to drink beer.
What?
A pub. A pub is a place that English people go to drink beer. I like the episodes of Naked and Afraid that have super southern guys. Like some guy from the backwoods of Tennessee with a thick southern accent. I like those ones. A lot of times they get their ass kicked. They're like, well, I was just a Louisiana boy from me. But sometimes they kick ass too. So they're fun. They're interesting. They all seem to have a good attitude, though. You know, they don't come in with... You don't get a lot of negative Nancys from the South. Yeah, sometimes they have Canadians. They had a Swedish guy on there one time. He did well. I think I saw a South African guy on there one time. It's not open just to Americans. Now they've got XL, which is people come back for like a repeat thing, but they go 40 days and they're with another veteran of the show, shit like that, you know.
I haven't seen one of those yet.
Yeah, we haven't really watched those yet, but Maybe we will. The nice thing about a show like Naked and Afraid is that there's lots and lots of episodes of it. Well, it depends what kind of area you put them in is the thing, Moxie. If you put them in a swamp that's not full of nothing but mosquitoes, I don't understand how anybody can survive that shit. I have seen Kick-Ass. I think I liked it, but I don't really remember it that much, so it, I guess, probably wasn't brilliant. But I don't really remember it. I tell you what, some Hollywood crap. Rachel and I tried watching this movie called John Cooper. Is that what it's called?
John Carter.
John Carter. Oh my God. Disney.
I know.
What is that? What are you doing? That movie is absolutely terrible. At first, Rachel and I were really trying to give it a chance, you know. It was just so, it tries to cram way too much meh into it. It was just terrible. We couldn't get through it. Like, most of the things I've been trying out on Disney Plus, it's just Obi-Wan Kenobi, boring. That guy who plays Obi-Wan is just so bland. Speaking of terrible things, did you watch the new Resident Evil series? It got a terrible rating. I watched the live action Resident Evil with the ladies and the community with the, what's that company called? Umbrella. Had a couple of ladies, sisters, and then this other lady who was like the boss, and their dad who was like a clone. That was good. I liked it. I watched the whole thing. No, it was a series. It wasn't a movie. Just hold on a second, everybody. Doing a little meat cutting. Am I in your way?
No, you're not.
Am I interfering with your plan?
Not at all. I just have a plate for you.
Oh, thanks. Okay, well, I'm going to take some of this meat then and some for you, or...
Yeah, that's great.
Hopefully you're at the top here. I did see that there was some sort of cartoon rendition of it that I don't think I really even started, but it didn't look very good. Well, I don't know if you're talking about the cartoon one or the live action one. The live action one that I watched, I thought was quite good, actually. And I consider myself kind of a tough audience for Netflix shows. I've watched so many of them now. I'm kind of a connoisseur.
Yeah, you are.
Mm. Mm. No, it's still square on the inside. If you look at the liquid, it's square.
Yeah. I never really thought about it.
It's just the top is round. It's an interesting question.
Yeah, it really is.
You earn 5-star points. Remember, if you can collect 100-star points, you can trade that in for a point of great feeling. Yeah, Raccoon City, right. Well, it's actually Raccoon City 2. It's not the first Raccoon City. The thing is, these two sisters, your dad was a clone. Well, the reason they existed, really, was so he could take their blood out and put it into himself. Otherwise, his clone body would fall apart. Mm-hmm. Price you pay for being a clone. No, I haven't seen it. Sounds like Rachel has some important laundry business to do.
Yep.
Cats are fine, although Rachel reports that there's been a new cat sighted. I'm hopeful that Trouble will keep that new cat away. Trouble's pretty tough and not particularly fond of other cats around, so he should, but if it's a unfixed female cat, maybe he'll want to hunt it. That's possible. When you're halfway through, like right now, it's a square. Listen, you don't want to get street typed, okay? You never know what you're going to catch from that kind of encounter, alright? You could catch type COVID. Good for him. Anyway, I got a typing session coming up here to how you say published. You know, with my publishing finger. If you are like me, you never go anywhere without your publishing finger. My publishing finger is about to publish something, and that something is going to be a very exciting typing session. Now, sure, I'll schedule it for maybe a little bit away from now, but I will be wrapping this up shortly, as they say, in the time describing business. If you, like me, are a long time participant in the time describing business, you'll recognize the term shortly as a term that one can use to describe an impending passage of time. Longly being the opposite, of course, of the duration reduced indication of shortly. For those who like further explication on my use of the word shortly, the role of shortness in time durations, whether or not I correctly identified longly as the antonym, or any other question related to shortness, longness, time, duration, durational time, or timely duration, then please visit your local library today, where you'll find books covering all manner of subject related to the passage of time, adjectives and adverbs you can use to modify either nouns or verbs respectively in order to convey more information about the passage of time and other important events like that. If you love important events and you expect those important events to occur shortly, then you are going to absolutely adore Eric's shortliness, shortness, and enshortifying shortbread, which both makes for a fabulous dessert and is not bread. Things that are bread, as we recall, have exactly one shape, and that shape is what we call the bread shape, sometimes known as the loaf shape. It is not acceptable for bread to ever be any other shape. These are the truths that we all can agree upon, because the truth of their truiness is so damn true. Okay, there. I've done a task while I was yammering. So that yammer right there is called task yammer. Task yammer is the ability to yammer on while doing something that needs to be done, like downloading from Google Drive this processed video, then uploading it to YouTube. That's what I was actually doing. But what I was doing with my mouth was task yammering. I hope you enjoyed it. That's some grade A task yammer. Okay, so anyway, now that I'm done with my task yammer, and the task is well on its way to being complete, I guess I'm going to, well, I guess what I should do is just wait for it to complete. Then I'll feel like delicious street meat. On the off chance you care enough to invest your time in it, I recommend a channel called Infrared, so you can critique his lectures. I think it might be interesting to you. Aside, delicious is your food. 7. What's the benefit of knowing your type, Eric? Natural male enhancement. How long does it take your shortness to become longness? 6 minutes. I like that your life is video gameized. Is my life video gameized? I wonder. Maybe it is. I don't know what that means, but I like the idea of it anyway. Okay, so let's see how we're doing on that upload over there. In Other Tab Lane, as it's called. Why? It says it's at 56% and that there are 2 minutes left. But I think that it's been more than 2 minutes for the first 54% or whatever. So that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I'd say it's been at least 4 minutes. At least that many minutes. What is the benefit of knowing your type? Well, potentially nothing, depending on what type you are, really. I think knowing your type is most helpful to people who are most map-oriented. So, ENFJs, INFJs, ENTPs, INTPs. I think it benefits them to know their type because it helps them to understand themselves, the world, why they're different, how they're different, where some of our natural ways are implicit to us but not necessarily desirable, whereas, and also where, you know, there needs to be some like self-acceptance about areas where we're not particularly strong, that kind of stuff, you know. The more you live according to maps, the more important it is to have the right map. If you don't really live according to maps very much, then you probably don't find it particularly informative to your understanding or going about through the world, right? You can't be much informed by abstraction as you're going through the world if you're not engaged attentionally in abstract things at all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you watch this video that's going to publish in a little while, if you watch this typing session, at the end she talks about her relationship with her ESFP husband, and you can see how he does get engaged intentionally with mapping stuff, and how it doesn't produce good results. So, I don't know what to say about that. Let's see.
Do you think that it helped that you dated an ISFJ at some point in your life?
Do I think that it helped?
Like,
Helped me understand typology for sure.
Yeah, like, that's kind of what I mean.
Yeah, it definitely helped me understand typology. And dating you afterwards, it helps me understand typology. The difference is, it's like it gives me a clear personal experience difference with each kind of knower. It makes me kind of like an expert on knowers, I guess.
Mm.
Okay. What's this lady's name? Bianca? No, Bonita. Bonita, not Bianca. Equals INTJ? Question mark. Typing session. Okay, now I'm going to push next. Monetization. I don't think I hardly had any cursing at all, did maybe? Even any cursing?
Yeah.
I might have said maybe like one bad word though, so maybe I should just... I think it's fine, really. I think in this one I was... I might have said something. It's so hard to not say any curse words at all.
Yeah.
Not curse, huh? You mean like not even say fuck? Yeah, not even that. That's crazy talk. Now you're talking crazy talk. Playlists. Search for playlists. Meow, 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 meow. This is called Typing Sessions, is the playlist we're looking for. Let's see if we can find it. Together, we can do anything. There it is. Typing Sessions. Pyow. Video elements. Add card. Pyow. Why are you so slow? Playlist. Pyow. Add. Pyow. Typing Sessions. Save. Pyow. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this thing. Then I'm going to go to this thing here. And I'm going to schedule this as a premiere for like 4:30. It's like in 15 minutes, 14 minutes from now. It's kind of like 14 minutes from now. Anyway, the 4:30 p.m. That's after the noon. And what we're gonna do is copy this link here, this link address. We're gonna tell you where you're gonna go to watch this video when it be done with it done. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. So there we go now. It be publishing in 14 minutes. 14 minutes from now, you're gonna see, you're gonna know, you're gonna live and learn and love everything there is to do with things about typology when you see this wonderful video and you say to yourself, damn, what a wonderful video that was. That's what's gonna happen in just a little while. When it's used endearingly. It's fucking curse word when it's used endearingly, like, get over here, you old fuck. Like that. Is that how you use it endearingly? That's gonna be the type of session, and it's gonna begin in just 13 minutes from now. A premiere that will blow your mind. Leave you with just no mind inside your head. It's going to be so blown. So don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime that you've been waiting for your entire life, and it will render the rest of your life anticlimactic. I recommend it because I suspect this shit on some level ends up being important for some of us. Yeah, sure does. Like, you know, like whether or not Lana Del Rey's name is really Lasagna Delay.
Lasagna's Delay.
Her mother, when she had her daughter, she was waiting and waiting in an Italian restaurant for them to get her to go lasagna. While she was waiting, her water broke. She didn't want to leave without her lasagna, so the baby was born right there on the floor of the Italian restaurant. And she said, "My daughter is hereby named Lasagna Delay." And that's how Lasagna Delay got her name.
Wow, what a nice story.
It's a true story about Lana Del Rey's real name. Lana Del Rey is just a stage name. Her birth name, Lasagna Delay. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. They be lying to you. Telling you lies and deceits. Deceitful deceptions. untruths and lying lies. Don't believe them. Okay.
So lasagna Del Rey?
Lasagna delay.
Lasagna delay.
Because that's what caused her to be born in the Italian restaurant. It was taking a long time to get her to go lasagna. The thing is, she had called ahead. But what she, unbeknownst to her, when she got there, they just did not even begin cooking it until she got there. Somebody had forgotten to put it on the thing that you spin around and it goes back there to the chefs.
Oh, yes.
They forgot to put that on the thing and they didn't push it. Hence, she was born and named Lasagna Delay.
Lasagna delay.
Yeah. Alright then, that's enough celebrity news for today. We're here today and almost every day, but sometimes not. I'm Louisiana Eric, and this here Louisiana Rachel, and we are cooking up a pot of gumbo stew by celebrity gossip here on Talking with Famous People. But today, we're going to draw our commentary to a close so that y'all can go watch this upcoming premiere of a very exciting lady being topped in very exciting ways by a very exciting man, namely me. It's right there for you all to watch and enjoy. Just, you get to hear that song, the loudest song on the internet, the premiere song for a YouTube video. So loud. Everything else, you gotta turn up after you turn down, after you listen to that one song, because it's so loud. You're gonna be okay. Don't let it scare you, alright? So, don't be sad. You're only gonna be missing me now for about 9 minutes before the next me comes out of the ether like a phoenix from the ashes of yesterday's pool festival. Alright, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for being here, and don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. It's nature's fruit, the fruit of cheese. Amen.